Welcome, world. Welcome to another edition of the Stocks is Talking podcast with Ib and Getz. I'm your co-host, Ib. Getz, what's going on?
What's poppin'?
Everything, cuz everything is lovely. Everything is good. I'm ready to jump on. This is what? Is this episode 5?
I think we might be at 5.
That's a milestone, people. A milestone. We 5 in. We 5 in, dropping jewels, having some great engaging convo. I've been loving it so far. We both new to the podcast game, but we've been crushing it, if I do say so myself, Gantz. What you think?
I do say so.
Hey, so let's just get right into it. Here's what I'm thinking. Doge is now down to 23 cents, or is it 25 cents? Let me check. Doge is at 25 cents. Gets, I've bought a whole bunch more Doge because it dropped down to 16 cents a couple days ago. That was like my Doge. I think there was a Doge day one day last week.
Yeah, 420. 420 was Doge day. Yeah, they turned it into Doge day now.
They turned it into Doge day. And if you know, 420 is not typically Doge day. But some investors say we're going to make 420 Doge day as well. But here's the thing. It didn't go as planned, did it, Getz?
Nah, not even close.
They were supposed to, I think they were supposed to push it up to $1 was the hope. And what ended up happening, I think the day after 420, it was down to about 16 cents, I think was the lowest it got to. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was buying when it dropped to 27 cents. I bought when it dropped down again to 25. I bought more at 22 cents when it hit 16. I was getting in more. Why? Because you buy on the dip, you sell on the tip.
Right.
Those are stock strategies, but crypto, I figure I'm gonna implement the same thing. Now, of course,
investment strategies. It's not even a stock strategy. It's just an investment strategy.
It's investment.
It is.
Even in real estate, it's all the same. So I was buying that dip heavy. I'm already up a little bit after buying on the dip because it's back up to 25 cents. But I'm hearing a lot more about this petition to get Amazon to start accepting Doge. I just saw a story about this girl, this big time financial girl that blew up in the crypto. She bought some tickets to a Mavs game with Doge, so they kind of have a story out on her experience with that. I'm a believer in it only because I see that there's value being shown in Doge, and right now it's still so cheap. So I'm jumping in, Getz. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I bought a little more, but and I just had a conversation with somebody about this. Okay. I believe in it more. I mean, the use case it's proven itself. It's being used in more places. Yep. So, and it's inflationary. I mean, I think it'll actually make a very good currency. My only thing is, as far as it going to $1, like the conversation I had with somebody, I told him straight up. I said, maybe we have a run to $1. And then all those people that were in super early before a penny, they start selling out, and then and it drops off, and then it's going to find its level, and then it's going to be a currency like any other. We'll be looking at Doge versus the dollar or whatever. And maybe it's at 25 cents, maybe it's at 50 cents, whatever it may be. Right. I mean, it's the use case is there, so I don't see it going nowhere.
So when you said the use case, you're meaning in terms of, like I said earlier, somebody used Doge to buy Dallas Mavericks tickets. So when you say use case, meaning how can you go about using this crypto? Is that what you're referring to? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's man. I mean, it makes sense as a currency. If you look at fiat currency, if you look at the dollar, if you look at all these currencies, I mean, it's kind of the same thing when you look at Doge right now. That's how I'm seeing it.
Right. So Doge is doing. I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. Are you familiar with SafeMoon? And I'm sorry, I know I'm jumping right into the crypto because how I'm feeling. Feel free to cut me off and get into the stocks. I'm on crypto. We can take it wherever we want. SafeMoon. Are you familiar with that?
SafeMoon. I keep hearing about it, but I don't know too much about SafeMoon. You're gonna have to tell me about that one.
So here's what I know about SafeMoon. It is at tenths of a penny right now, and a bunch of people are dumping in money for it. And I just read something recently where they have over 1 million users now of this SafeMoon crypto. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what it means. I just know SafeMoon seems to be that new hot topic, that new hot crypto that everybody's kind of if you know kind of thing.
Right.
Like one of my homeboys who was in it prior to last week when I got in, he was making 14K off of it.
Right.
Off of this crypto. So I'm like, all right, let me get in. Because I know you mentioned on the last pod, you was in on Doge when it was at tenths of a penny.
Right.
And now here it is at 25 cents. And we're wondering if it's going to get to $1. Well, I know this. I have 22 million shares of SafeMoon off of $100 investment. So if this thing goes to $1, it's a wrap, I guess. Yeah. I'm not working no more. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. What I was gonna ask though, because I did a little research on it yesterday, and the supply on it was something crazy.
But there is a finite supply, no?
Yeah, it was a finite supply.
Okay.
But the way it was broken down, I know you was trying to explain to me how to buy it, because that was my thing. I never bought it because I didn't know how. And
mad complicated.
Yeah, it was super complicated. I'm like, I just didn't have time for it. So, but my issue was with it is you have this crazy supply, even though it's finite, and it didn't seem to have any utility whatsoever. And like you say, one of your people's is up, whatever it is, 14,000, whatever. Is that where they? If they wanted to, can they actually liquidate it
into cash money?
Cash money, because I mean, with the amount of users, I would think that right now you probably could. But it's one of those things I worry about, because you can have on paper, you can have crazy unrealized gains, but when it comes to actually time to cash out, is it liquid enough for you to cash out? That's one thing I was wondering about.
That's a good point, Getz. And I'm not even 100% sure what it looks like, because I haven't sold any of the cryptos that I'm in, not just SafeMoon, all of them. I've yet to sell them for a realized gain. I just have them, they're all unrealized, as we say. And when we say unrealized, it's simply when you purchase a stock, it might say plus 500 or negative 400. So you're up $500 or you're down $400. But you've never really made money or lost money until you exercise that trade and sell it. Once you sell it, then you're selling it for a realized gain or a realized loss.
Yeah, it's the same thing. All these CEOs and stuff and founders of companies, right? Jeff Bezos worth $190 billion. That's on paper. If tomorrow if he cashes it all out and he gets $190 billion, then he's worth $190 billion. Right now, he's worth it on paper. That's what it is.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Something I was actually, I gotta say, the Stocks is Talking podcast with Ibn Getz, we're making traction out here, because I had somebody that's been listening to the pod. She asked me a couple questions with regards to, like, hey, I just got into stocks. When do I sell? And it seemed like such a minor question or like simplistic. But it's real, because a lot of people get into investments and it's like, all right, well, when do I sell it?
Right.
And she's like, do I just wait till it goes all the way up and then get out? Do I sell it when I'm losing $20? And honestly, I told her it's all about doing the best for your portfolio. Because as we always say, we're not really financial advisors. We want people to always use discretion when you're trading and do what's best for you. But what I did tell her is, before you buy a stock or buy a crypto or anything, you got to have your exit strategy already.
Right.
Because that way it makes it a lot easier for you. So if you're going to go and do what we talked about in the last episode, where it's about what percentage of money am I up, or do you want to go buy a dollar amount? I want to make $20. If I'm up 20, I'm out.
Right.
Or I want to make 10 to 20%. But I just thought it was an interesting question, because she was like, you know what? I think when I make $1,000, that's when I'll get out. She was like, what do you think about that? I said, again, it's all up to what's best for your portfolio. If you're comfortable with that, then that's your strategy. then you rock with that. But then you also have to learn how to minimize those losses, risk management. So if you want to make 1,000, but now you're down 500, you've got to calculate that as well.
Right.
So it's not just about how much money I'm up will I get out, how much money when I'm down will I get out.
Yeah. So and why are you in it in the first place? You know, I mean, why are you in it? I mean, if you look at these companies and you're invested in a company and you say, I'm gonna get out when I'm up $1,000. Well, what's the catalyst that's gonna get you up $1,000? Why did you invest in the company? Something to think about, you know.
Yeah.
If you're doing it off of news or rumors, you know, things like that, then we went, you know, we talked about it, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news, you know. So then if you're looking at when you get to a place of parity, right, when it's on CNBC, when it's being talked about in the news, when it's big, then it's time to get out. So what if you haven't hit your $1,000 yet? If that's the only thing you're looking at is I'm gonna get out when I'm at $1,000, but you get to that place of parity, and then you're not up $1,000, you're gonna hold it.
Right.
Now everybody, the world knows now. You know, so this is if you hadn't thought about it and you're still holding, now you're gonna end up being a bag holder.
Yep.
Everybody else, the news is out, everybody's selling, and you're sitting on it. So now you're the bag holder.
Waiting for that. No, that makes sense. So it all comes down to, like you said, knowing why you in it in the first place. But I will say a lot of times people get into stocks or crypto in the first place simply off the strength of they've heard other people saying they're getting in on this. So they buy. It's not really an informed, educated decision. It's more of following the trend of the people around me.
Right.
So if you're one of those people that are just following the people around you, then you really got to do your due diligence once you get into that trade to really do some soul searching in terms of how long do I want to be in this and when am I going to get out? Because if you're just jumping in with no prior knowledge of this stock, you really have nothing to base it off of. You're just kind of...
you should probably, and if that's the case, you should probably ease into something. You know, like I think I mentioned before how I'll buy a stock and that's how I'll track it. And then, you know, all right, now I bought it. I didn't have time to do my due diligence ahead of time, but I bought 1 or 2 shares. I'm tracking it now. And as I'm tracking it now, all right, now when I get a chance, I'm going to do my due diligence and figure out, do I want to stay in it? Do I want to add to that position? What do I want to do with it? You know, but even if you're just buying because people around you are talking about something, that's the rumor.
Yep.
So, all right, cool. You got in now. You know, it's just like, you know, people all the time come in there talking to me about random stocks and crypto and this and that. That's the rumor part of it. Now, when I turn on the TV and that stock or that crypto is on CNBC or it's on your regular news channel, it's on Fox or something. All right, now I think I'm done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get out of it because now they're blasting it out to the world. You know, so maybe it gets a little bump while it's on the news,
but it's gonna inevitably consolidate.
Exactly.
Settled. Yep.
Right. So I don't want to be the bag holder. I want to take my profit. So when the rest of the world is learning about something and they're all scrambling to get into something, I want to be the guy that's collecting those coins.
Right.
You know, and then I can get off to the side. You know, it's just like we talked about, you know, be greedy when others are fearful, right? And be fearful when others are greedy. When you have that euphoria, once you get to that place of euphoria and people who have no idea, who know nothing, don't want to know anything, all they know is they just heard about it. When you get to that point, well, that's when I'm like, all right, I want to take a step back.
Right.
Because now now everybody's being greedy, thinking that they're going to become millionaires. So, all right, now I want to be a little fearful. I want to hold on to some of my cash. You know, for that day when things start to go sideways and those people who don't know any better, they all start pulling their money.
And as they're pulling, Yeah, you're
prices are dropping.
Yep.
Right. So now I'm buying.
Yep. Exactly. You're doing the opposite.
Yeah. Now I got my, I got the shopping cart and I'm filling it up. You know, give me a little Apple, give me a little Tesla. You know, give me a little of this, a little of that. You know. Oh, Bitcoin's down, Ethereum's down. All right, cool. Now's the time.
I bought them all.
Yeah.
I bought Bitcoin when it dropped back down like 49,000, 48,000. I got some more.
Yeah, they're down today too.
I did not. Yeah, they're down today. I haven't bought any more today. I'm kind of chilling on it, but I've purchased in on a lot of these cryptos on the dips. Mm-hmm. One thing, so I had another person call me with regards to the pod and like, hey, love what you guys are doing. I'm thinking I have my granddaughter who loves to, she'll get money. She wants to spend it on bags and this. I want her to listen to the pod so that she can kind of get some understanding of maybe investing, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I didn't tell you about this, Gets. Actually, you're just now hearing about this on the pod with the rest of the world. But
the world premiere.
Yeah. So no, we're definitely getting out there. But one thing I told this woman, I'm not gonna put a name out there, was if your granddaughter is into buying bags or shoes or whatever she's buying when she gets all this money and you want to introduce her to investing, tell her, hey, that's great that you like Louis Vuittons or Coach bags. What company owns Louis Vuitton and Coach? Right. Why don't you invest into those companies? So even if you want to buy the shoes, now that you're buying the shoes, you're putting money back into your pocket in a way because you now own a part of that company.
Right.
So I think that's a big piece for people who are out there. You're not really into the investing. You haven't gotten your feet wet, but you're interested and you don't know where to start. Start with the places that you shop at on a daily basis. Yeah. If you go to Walmart and Target consistently, look into the stock. See what the stock is doing. What have they been doing over the last year or so? How has that stock price been going up and down? Is now a good point for you to maybe get into it? Because you've been shopping at Walmart and Target for years, right? So you know they're not going to go bankrupt.
Right.
You have an iPhone, right? You've got all these Apple products. Why not buy into Apple?
And even if you don't want to do the research, the fact that you could say, I've been shopping at Target and Walmart for years, why not start buying them? Where they going?
That's all the research you need, right? They're sticking around.
Right.
You're still going there. Through the pandemic, you've still found your way to Target.
Right.
You probably ordered something online. They were open. Through the pandemic, after the pandemic, they will be around. That means that they have a good, solid fundamental basis to continue to flourish. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're right.
So Preach. I think that's hey man, I think that's a nugget though.
Yeah.
Like if you're new to the investment game, just start with the places that you shop at. And I'm not talking about the bodegas around the way. I'm talking about those high-end chains like a Walmart, like a Target, like a Louis Vuitton, like a Coach. All of these different designers. Look and see if they're tradable on the market. That's the basis to start.
And you'd be surprised who owns who.
You would be surprised who owns who. When you start looking into these companies and you find out that it's the same company owns Moet and Hennessy and all these I think it's Louis Vuitton, whatever it is, they own 5 different companies, have nothing to do with each other, and but it's all the luxury brands you buy and what you're sipping on because you saw it in a video, they own it all. It's like they own it all.